5 centuries ago, the church was on a witch hunting spree, waging holy wars like it was the latest fashion trend. The poor witches, defeated and deflated, decided to play hide and seek. But the church, in their righteousness extravaganza, just couldn't resist playing the relentless hunter. In this wild tale, we meet Serena, the Mooncaller Witch, who got a front row seat to the hottest party in town, a stake-burning extravaganza. Why? For the crime of spreading plagues. Talk about a rough crowd. But fear not, the flames didn't just light up the night, they sparked a rebellious fire among witches worldwide. The kingdom of Weenias, not to be outdone, thought, why not call in the mercenaries to deal with this magical mayhem? Fast forward to the liturgical year 526, where the world was still figuring out the difference between sorcery and plain old magic. Picture this, 3 witches in a circle, getting some serious hang time, blamed by an audience for everything from ruined fields to general chaos. The father of the church, the ultimate hype man, promises the crowd a live extermination show. But wait, in a dark alley nearby, a masked man strolls past some enterprising professionals. They tried to work their charms, but upon closer inspection, decided to gracefully side away. Suddenly, an arrow takes a shot at our mysterious masked friend, unveiling his true identity, a beast fallen with a bounty as big as his beastly demeanor. Cue the attackers rushing in, eager to cash in on that bounty. It's said that these beast fallen are the result of some hanky-panky between humans and half-beasts, aka instruments of witchy sorcery. Our beast fallen buddy manages to escape the onslaught after a fierce battle, proving that he's not just a pretty face. Now, flashback time. Our young beast fallen had a tough childhood, bullied by villagers who probably couldn't appreciate his unique charm. Waking up under a tree, he encounters an old rabbit hunting man. Evening comes, and our beast fallen finds himself in a precarious situation, dodging a wizard boy who's more interested in his bounty than a friendly chat. Enter a cliff slip, a ruined soup, and a face-pinching witch. The beast fallen, being the true gentleman he is, unwittingly kidnaps the witch in an attempt to escape. But fear not, the tables turn when the witch reveals her magical prowess and gives the wizard boy a taste of defeat. However, the plot thickens as the witch, now identified as Mud Black Witch Zero, scares away our beast fallen, who, being a human underneath that beastly exterior, is not fond of witch-fearing humans. After a successful escape, our beast fallen decides to whip up some dinner soup. Alas, a missing spoon and Zero's rapid soup gulping make for a hilarious yet awkward dinner scene. As the night unfolds, Zero reveals her true mission, finding a man named 13,
13番という男を探して旅をしている
and a stolen world-ending book. She proposes a deal to our grumpy beast fallen, protection in exchange for a return to humanity. After some yelling and soul-bearing, a blood oath is made, sealing the deal. The next day, our duo wakes up to the awkward aftermath of a shared sleep, ready to embark on their magical journey. As they plan their adventures, Zero unveils her sorcery skills, summoning a demon and an Elbor. However, things take a comedic turn as the demon's attack falls flatter than a pancake. The Elbor charges, but our beast fallen, in a moment of chivalry, whisks Zero away, avoiding disaster. Zero then showcases her magical finesse, tying down the Elbor with roots. They decide to let the Elbor off the hook, given the illegal nature of attacking or hunting them. But wait, there's more. Zero senses another magical aura and unleashes a barrage of light arrows on a tree-dwelling wizard, the same troublemaker from the previous day. The boy, realizing he underestimated Zero, gets tied down like a rabbit in a magician's hat. Turns out, he's part of a group of sorcerers with a holy book named Grimoire of Zero. Zero, with a twinkle in her eye, realizes she's the author of this sought-after book. What a magical twist. In the mystical world of witch hunts and magical resistance, the sorcerers of Zero emerged as a beacon of hope for witches seeking true peace. This clandestine group, formed by an enigmatic figure, took magical blood oaths and delved into the arcane arts to combat the ever-increasing witch hunt orchestrated by the kingdom. Their noble cause inadvertently threw the kingdom into a civil war as they stood against the oppressive forces. Enter Albus, a wizard boy with a mission and a name that sounds more like a quirky uncle than a magical prodigy. He reveals himself to Zero, and the Beast Fallen is part of the Sorcerers of Zero, proudly wielding the legendary Grimoire of Zero, a book authored by none other than Zero herself. A plot twist that could make any magical soap opera jealous. Curiosity piqued, the Beast Fallen grills Albus about the current location of this sought-after grimoire. Albus spills the beans, it's chilling in the Sorcerers of Zero's hideout. This revelation prompts Albus to pop a critical question to Zero: does using magic automatically make them allies? Albus, finally trusting Zero, reveals his belief that the author of the book is a noble soul, fighting for peace for all witches. However, our Beast Fallen, not one to let a juicy truth slip away, attempts to enlighten Albus about the book thief's true identity. But alas, Zero, the master of mysterious hushing, forbids him from spilling the magical tea. The trio, now united by fate and a common goal, embarks on a journey to the Latet village, with Albus as their trusty guide. A pit stop by a spring unveils some interesting family dynamics among witches. Albus drops a bombshell: Sorna's granddaughter is part of the Sorcerers of Zero. However, the revelation takes an unexpected turn when the Beast Fallen, in his typical fashion, expresses a peculiar interest in laying eyes on her, with a remark about her melons. Cue a quarrel between Albus and the Beast Fallen over witches, adding a touch of humor to the magical mix. As the trio continues their journey, Albus, attempting to wash his face, discovers a glowing ring underwater. Zero, with her magical senses on point, identifies it as a witch's ring. Albus, embracing the newfound bling, makes an unusual request. He wants Beast Fallen's head for strength.
その首ちょうだい
Just a casual magical accessory exchange, right? The journey takes them through a village known for its hospitality towards Beast Fallen and, ironically, famous for witch hunting. They meet the chief, a retired mercenary who, unfortunately, took an arrow to the knee. The chief paints a grim picture of the village graveyard, filled with the aftermath of witch raids, newborn graves and bedridden elders who fell victim to the witch's merciless onslaught. In the midst of village life, an old lady's missing ring becomes the epicenter of a brewing storm. Albus, attempting to be a good Samaritan, faces accusations of theft, leading to a heated confrontation. The villagers, oblivious to the magical world unfolding before them, turn hostile. Beast Fallen suggests a swift exit, but Albus decides to make a wizardly scene, revealing his true identity and inviting the villagers' wrath. Chaos ensues as villagers attack Albus and the Beast Fallen, forcing them to flee. The chief, nursing a grudge, injures Beast Fallen with a knife and initiates a full-blown witch hunt. Seeking refuge in an abandoned house, the trio regroups. Albus steps out for some fresh air while Zero tends to Beast Fallen's wounds. Amidst their conversation, the tragic tale of Sorna unfolds. Misunderstood and killed by villagers during a natural plague, Sorna's death serves as a poignant reminder of the consequences of ignorance. Unbeknownst to them, Albus eavesdrops on their conversation, adding a touch of mystery to the unfolding drama. Realizing the approaching danger, the trio decides to make a hasty escape. A cave becomes their temporary sanctuary, but a spear-wielding villager emerges, aiming for the Beast Fallen. A swift clash of swords ensues, and Zero puts two villagers to sleep with her magical prowess. The old lady, now revealed as a witch with a talent for location tracking, appears, guiding them to the path leading to Formicum. Albus returns the lost ring to the old lady, a precious keepsake given by Sorna. With a heartfelt goodbye, the trio continues their journey to Formicum, leaving behind the tumultuous village and its narrow-minded inhabitants. Little do they know, the path ahead is fraught with challenges, mysteries, and the ever-present threat of the witch hunt. And so, the magical saga unfolds in this fantastical realm where alliances are forged, secrets are kept, and the pursuit of peace for witchkind continues. In the bustling city of Formicum, our trio, Beast Fallen, Zero, and Albus, races against time to reach the gates before they close for the night. Beast Fallen, with a burst of strength, hoists Zero onto his shoulder, sprinting towards the entrance. They manage to slip through the gates just in time, avoiding an uncomfortable night outside the city walls. However, the authorities at the gate decide to make things interesting by questioning Beast Fallen about Zero and Albus. In a moment of confusion, Zero takes the reins of the situation with an unexpected response, declaring herself and Albus as Beast Fallen's erotic slaves.
そりゃ
肉奴隷だ
The awkwardness escalates as Beast Fallen, visibly embarrassed, pays the entry fees. Little do they know, this miscommunication would lead to an amusing misconception about Beast Fallen's character. Inside the city, Beast Fallen's shame takes physical form as he punches both Zero and Albus for their inappropriate declaration. The authorities, witnessing the scene, now view Beast Fallen as a pervert indulging in questionable bedroom antics. A humorous turn of events thanks to Zero's impromptu storytelling. Zero, undeterred by the comedic misunderstanding, expresses excitement at the bustling life of Formicum City. Eager to explore, she urges Beast Fallen to be her escort, but he insists that she needs a wardrobe upgrade first. After all, ragged outfits won't earn them a warm bed for the night. Beast Fallen inquires about Zero's financial situation, only to be presented with a handful of expensive gems. Shocked by their value, he advises Zero to keep them hidden to avoid unwanted attention.
街中でこんなものひきやらかすんじゃねえ
Entering an upscale clothing store, the trio embarks on a shopping spree. Beastfallen, with a small gemstone in hand, helps Zero pick out a new outfit. However, the comedic twist comes when Zero, true to her quirky nature, decides to change in full view of the store owner and everyone present. The bewildered owner, thrilled by this unexpected sight, requests Zero's old outfit in exchange for anything in the store. Once attired in her new attire, Zero, Albus, and Beastfallen enter the market, then blush at the sight of Zero in her fresh ensemble, creating a stir in their wake. Albus wanders off, leaving Beastfallen and Zero to seek out an inn. However, their quest for lodging hits a snag as inn owners refuse them due to Beastfallen's questionable reputation as a potential human eater. Just as their frustration mounts, a cry for help pierces the air. A fellow Beastfallen, driven by an urge to consume humans, attacks a slave girl. The hero mercenary Beastfallen, our protagonist, intervenes and rescues the girl.
Oi!
Another wolf-like Beastfallen appears, holding 2 slaves, but he departs after recovering his captives. Before leaving, he informs our trio of an inn that accommodates Beastfallens. Finally, finding a clean room in the accommodating inn, the trio enjoys a dinner together. Zero, opting for a separate room, sets the stage for a night of rest. However, the tranquility is shattered when Albus discovers Zero lying on Beastfallen's chest, prompting a shocked scream. Beastfallen, too weary to react, simply returns to his slumber, leaving Albus to grapple with the unexpected sight. The night in Formicum unfolds with laughter, misunderstandings, and the promise of more adventures to come. In the quaint setting of their journey, Beastfallen decides it's high time for a thorough wash to avoid any unwanted fleas. Seizing the opportunity to lend a helping hand, Zero steps in to wash his back. Unbeknownst to Beastfallen, Zero sneakily writes something on his back, claiming it to be a curse. According to her whimsical explanation, Beastfallen is now bound to be eternally grateful to her, and unable to continue his journey without her. While Zero enjoys her turn being washed, a group of curious kids peeks through a gap in the fence. To scare them off, Beastfallen lets out a mighty roar, revealing a protective side born from personal experiences. Understanding the stigma surrounding Beastfallens, he takes it upon himself to teach the kids the importance of staying away from his kind. As a child, Beastfallen knows too well how such fear and prejudice can shape the future. After the wash, the trio navigates through the market, unaware that the store owner, recognizing them, offers Zero a dress as a gift in exchange for a private viewing. Beastfallen, ever vigilant, intervenes, ushering Zero and Albus away from the inappropriate proposition. As they stroll through the city, they encounter the authorities who inquire about Beastfallen's night. Quick on their feet, Zero and Albus play along, claiming they fulfilled their duties as exotic slaves.
肉奴隷として当然の務めを果たした。
The authorities, oblivious to the comedic misdirection, wish Beastfallen luck with his alleged witch hunting. Observing a couple engaged in a public display of affection, Zero turns to Beastfallen for an explanation. He enlightens her about the concept of kissing and its association with expressing love, shedding light on a world beyond her cave-bound upbringing. Exiting the city, they encounter the same kids as before, one of whom has injured her ankle. Zero commands Beastfallen to tend to her, and as he begins bandaging the wound, Zero employs her magic to accelerate the healing process. Grateful for their assistance, the girl expresses her appreciation. Continuing their journey through the mountains, they seek refuge in a cave during a rainstorm. As the rain subsides, they resume their trek, with Zero expressing joy at witnessing a rainbow for the first time in her life. A sense of camaraderie blossoms between Zero and Beastfallen as they share intimate moments and stories around the campfire. Halfway to Latet, Zero perches on Beastfallen's shoulder, indulging in a playful act of dropping breadcrumbs onto his head. The ensuing scuffle reveals a humorous dynamic between the two.
菓子こぼしたらマジで許さん。
なぜそう短気なのだ。
Engaging in fishing, Zero showcases her magical prowess by effortlessly summoning fish. The trio enjoys a delicious meal of grilled fish and soup, prompting a conversation about their pasts. Beastfallen grapples with amnesia, Albus recounts the tragic tale of his parents' demise, and Zero reveals she has never known her own parents. Zero, recognizing Albus's interest in magic, takes it upon herself to train him. The trio's journey is marked by shared experiences, laughter, and a burgeoning bond. Zero even suggests teaching Beastfallen the basics of magic, envisioning a future where she can be with him without the need for constant medicines. Arriving at Latet, the picturesque scene takes a dark turn as they witness burned bodies scattered across the town. Albus rushes forward, unveiling a somber and mysterious chapter in their journey, leaving the trio to grapple with the unforeseen tragedy unfolding before them. In the aftermath of the devastating attack on Albus's village, the gruesome reality of the tragedy unfolded before Zero, the Beast Fallen, and Albus himself. The once peaceful town was now a scene of devastation, the result of sinister magic spells executed by rogue witches. Frogas, a malevolent spell, had selectively burned its targets without spreading, while lament magic turned winds into deadly blades, massacring entire houses. As they navigated through the somber landscape of death, Albus sat beside the lifeless body of a friend, a painful reminder of the ruthlessness of the attackers. Albus revealed that the perpetrators were not part of the Zero group but rather rogue witches, a faction that had diverged from the principles of the open and inclusive Zero sorcerers. The rogue witches, after being rejected by the Zero group, resorted to attacking and pillaging innocent villages. Their recent assault on Latet aimed to steal the Grimoire of Zero, a coveted treasure in their possession. Amidst the ruins, an arrow was shot towards Albus, but his life was spared by his friend's loyal dog, who recognized him. Confronted by looters, the Beast Fallen swiftly subdued them, attempting to extract information. However, Albus, fueled by rage, was on the verge of delivering retribution when Zero intervened, urging restraint. The looter disclosed the presence of a mysterious man who had wreaked havoc in the town and moved towards the church. Intrigued by the lead, they entered the hideout through the church, only to discover the Grimoire of Zero missing. Albus directed them to a forbidden room linked to the founder of the Sorcerers of Zero, but even there, they found no trace. In a glimmer of hope, Albus discovered one of his friends still alive and attempted to heal him. The dying friend conveyed the responsibility of their group onto Albus's shoulders before breathing his last. Retreating to the church, Zero examined the bodies and discerned a disturbing pattern. The rogue witches were disintegrated, while Zero group's members had perished after putting up a fight. A revelation struck Albus, linking the mysterious attacker to a name he uttered, 13. As they spoke this name, a strange eye appeared, casting a force summoning magic that transported them to an unknown location. In this strange realm, Zero reassured the bewildered Beast Fallen, and they proceeded deeper into a mysterious cave. As they ventured forward, Zero contemplated the identity of the summoner. There were only two people Zero knew capable of such a specific summoning style, her teacher and the enigmatic 13. To their surprise, the cave's darkness gave way to light, revealing 13 standing before them. The revelation of 13's connection to Zero left Albus in a state of confusion, questioning the intricate web of alliances and mysteries that entwine their journey. As the revelations unfolded, the sinister truth about 13 emerged. He was not just a sorcerer, he was a traitor to the witches, having aligned himself with the king and humans during the witch hunts. His alliance with the king was driven by a dark pact. The king assisted him in his quest for the Grimoire of Zero in exchange for 13's betrayal of the Sorcerers of Zero, a group he once belonged to. 13's treachery was laid bare, and the atmosphere crackled with tension as the mere mention of Zero triggered a furious response from the traitorous sorcerer. The air itself seemed to ignite as 13 launched a lightning attack, aimed at the very heart of the Zero group. In a desperate bid to shield Zero and Albus from the impending danger, the Beast Fallen mercenary leaped into action. However, as the lightning crackled and threatened to consume them, Zero stepped forward, her magic cancellation power negating the deadly assault. The clash of power between Zero and 13 began, each strike resonating with the weight of their conflicting loyalties. As the sorcerers engaged in their intense duel, Beast Fallen and Albus were left in a perilous predicament. The searing heat of magical confrontation threatened to engulf them. Recognizing the urgency of the situation, the Beast Fallen, determined to aid Zero, started advancing towards the battling sorcerers. In the midst of the fierce battle, our Beast Fallen hero leaped into action, aiming to strike down 13 with his trusty dagger. Little did he know, the force field surrounding 13 was like trying to cut through jello with a butter knife, utterly impenetrable. The situation took an unexpected turn when a mysterious bell chimed, bringing a sudden ceasefire. Albus and the Beast Fallen were left scratching their heads, bewildered by the abrupt calmness that settled in the atmosphere. As if choreographed by a cosmic sitcom director, 0 and 13, instead of clashing swords, decided to gracefully ascend the stairs toward the dining room. The setting transitioned to the grand dining hall of the majestic castle of royal capital Plasta. While 0 indulged in a feast fit for royalty, she couldn't resist teasing 13 for his allegedly evil deeds. The roasted lamb got a pass, but the soup, oh, that didn't meet the discerning taste buds of 0. Dinner ended, and the sweet finale arrived, but not without more banter from 0. She found the dessert positively divine, ensuring 13 received another round of playful taunts for not presenting such delights earlier. Post-dinner inquisition time began, with 0 bombarding 13 with questions about the Grimoire of Zero. 13 calmly explained that he merely chose the most practical option in the pursuit of the coveted Grimoire. He spilled the magical beans, revealing that the thief had already spread its mystical knowledge far and wide in the land of Weenius. The sorcerers, now divided into 3 factions, became the focal point of discussion. The sorcerers of Zero, advocating for peace among witches, the Rouge witches, banished by the sorcerers of Zero for practicing dark magic, and the sorcerers of State, who hunted both groups. 13 strategically dismantled Albus's arguments about betrayal, emphasizing the consequences of their actions, which, no matter the justification, resulted in the deaths of innocent people. With a logical shutdown delivered to Albus, 13 extended an offer for him to join the cause or face the fiery fate of a stake-burning session. Albus was granted a night to ponder his decision, leaving the atmosphere pregnant with tension. Meanwhile, Zero spilled the grimoire tea to Albus, disclosing that her own leader had not only stolen the precious book, but also orchestrated a massacre of witches. Albus, emotionally shattered, couldn't reconcile the truth with his ideals. Zero, feeling the weight of her revelation, confessed that she initially wrote the grimoire to aid humanity, but regretted her decision in the face of the gruesome reality. As Albus guided them, Zero severed the ties with him rather swiftly, leaving Beastfallen suspicious. A cleverly manipulated mouse, under 13's control, led Beastfallen to the secretive chamber where 13 applauded his assistance. In appreciation, 13 handed Beastfallen a magical potion, a creation rooted in Zero's mystical methods. Pouring out the potion would release the sealed magic within, capable of breaking the enchantments on any object. As a bonus, it could even transform Beastfallen back into a human. 13 cunningly planted seeds of doubt, describing Zero as a terrifying witch who had struck dark deals with the highest levels of demons, using other Beastfallens as sacrifices. As Beastfallen packed his things, contemplating the revelation, he found Zero outside his room. The encounter took a bizarre turn as Beastfallen raised his swords, confounding Zero. It dawned on her that only 13 could orchestrate such devilish tricks. Despite her attempts to reason with Beastfallen, he no longer trusted her. A shout echoed, signaling the end of their contract. Zero regretted her decision to enlist him as a protector, realizing that the line between ally and adversary had blurred. Venturing out into the bustling streets of Plastic Capital, our Beastfallen protagonist found himself at a local shop, seeking solace in a bottle of wine. To his surprise, the shop owner, recognizing him as a fellow Beastfallen, hesitantly offered the drink for free. However, our mercenary Beastfallen was quick to reject this gesture, and even punched another pig like Beastfallen, attempting to take advantage of the owner's generosity. As fate would have it, a girl observed the entire scene from afar and approached our Beastfallen hero with a proposition. She offered him a barrel of wine in exchange for his help. The Beastfallen, intrigued by the offer, decided to lend a hand with some chores and later assisted the girl with preparing a meal. Over the shared food, the two delved into a conversation about the Beastfallen's aspirations for a peaceful life, hoping to one day open a tavern. As night fell, the girl began discussing witch hunting, casting a shadow on the tranquil evening. In his room, the Beastfallen stared contemplatively at the magical potion that held the promise of transforming him back into a human. The night took an unexpected turn when the sound of shattering baubles reached his ears. Other unruly Beastfallen mercenaries were causing a ruckus at the bar. Concerned for her establishment, the owner's daughter sought the mercenary Beastfallen's assistance. To resolve the matter, our protagonist intervened, punching out the troublemaker and earning the gratitude of the girl's family. However, the revelation that the girl's mother had been killed by a Beastfallen stirred animosity in the bar owner. Realizing he was being used, the Beastfallen decided to leave the inn. Meanwhile, in another part of the story, Albus grappled with the truth about the Zero sorcerers stealing the grimoire of Zero. His contemplation took a drastic turn as 13 confronted him, seeking a decision on joining forces. Albus, not one to back down, threw a glass of water in 13's face, adding fuel to the brewing tension. The plot thickened as Zero stormed into the scene, berating 13 for taking away her mercenary. While Beastfallen peacefully slept under the open sky, a new adversary emerged in the form of a wolf Beastfallen, challenging our protagonist. Just as the conflict escalated, a light arrow pierced the air, targeting the mercenary Beastfallen. The revelation that the wolf Beastfallen had sold him out to the witches set the stage for a chaotic confrontation. Zero, in a fit of rage, was about to clash with 13 when tragedy struck. A witch's betrayal led to the demise of the wolf Beastfallen, triggering Zero's fury. The Beastfallen, caught in the crossfire, retaliated, killing a witch. However, a turn of events unfolded as an arrow meant for the mercenary Beastfallen redirected its damage to Zero, who fell to the ground, bleeding. As the third witch called the beast fallen a monster, his primal instinct surfaced. With memories of Zero's teachings echoing in his mind, he spared the witch's life, showcasing a glimmer of humanity. Yet, his attention was diverted when the wolf beast fallen, seemingly alive, sought his aid. It turned out that the wolf beast fallen knew Sorna's granddaughter, leading the mercenary beast fallen to save his unexpected companion. Amidst the chaos, 13 tended to Zero's wounds, leaving the story at a critical juncture. A beast fallen of royal blood turned furry spilled the beans to his fellow beast fallen mercenary. He spilled the beans about his pre-beast fallen days when he was a dashing royal knight, third in line for the family throne but more interested in fur than heritage. Enter Sorna, the magical maestro responsible for his bewitching transformation into a wolfish wonder. Back in the day, when life was as peaceful as a catnap, our wolf had no worries about witches. Fast forward to the present, where cities are crazier than a sorcerer on caffeine, and witches are causing a ruckus. Now, enter 13, the sorcerer with the potential to outwitch them all. 13 pops the question to Albus, the magical protege, asking if he wants to join the dark and chaotic side. Our wolf used to room with Sorna, babysitting her grandchild and dodging curses like they were going out of style. But wait, there's more drama than a magical soap opera. Our wolf spills the tea about noble ladies going bonkers over bizarre rituals involving the heads of beast fallens. Mercenary beast fallen gets a light bulb moment, realizing that 13 was cooking up a tale about Zero wanting his head. Meanwhile, Sorna, the magical grandma, sacrifices herself for the sake of the forest and her kin. Sorna's grandchild, fueled by vengeance against the troublesome humans, bids farewell and embarks on a solo adventure. Cut to Zero waking up in her enchanted bedroom, trying to leave, only to find herself trapped in a magical bubble. She starts yearning for her furry friend, the mercenary beast fallen. Back to our wolf and mercenary duo, the wolf spills more beans about Sorna's disdain for the Zero sorcerers. According to the furry informant, Sorna believed in magic but thought it was being spread like bad gossip. The plot thickens as our wolf accuses the leader of the Zero sorcerers of being the mastermind behind Sorna's murder, leading the villagers to blame her for the plague. Cue Albus rejecting 13's dark offer, and our dynamic duo struts towards the chaotic capital, Plasta, ready to rescue Albus from an impending execution. The stage is set, the stakes are high, and our wolf, after seeing Albus in the predicament, drops the grand bombshell: Albus is Sorna's granddaughter. In the midst of the chaotic confrontation, 13, the charismatic speaker, takes the stage, addressing the humans against the witches. The tension is palpable as Albus, with an air of defiance, proudly declares herself as the descendant of the legendary Sorna. Seizing the opportunity, she calls upon other hidden witches in the crowd to unleash their magical fury upon 13. As the stakes are set ablaze, our noble wolf, swift as the wind, dashes to rescue Albus. Meanwhile, the mercenary beast fallen, a maestro of distraction, weaves through the crowd, diverting attention from the unfolding magical mayhem. 13, sensing the heat, is swiftly escorted to safety, sparing him from the fiery fate planned for him. The wolf beast fallen, in a heroic feat, manages to whisk Albus away from the clutches of danger just as the royal army of Plasta makes its grand entrance. But the plot thickens. 13, not one to back down easily, launches a daring attack on our valiant wolf. However, realizing the consequences, 13 withdraws, fearing that any harm inflicted on the wolf will be transferred to the enigmatic Zero. Seizing the chance to escape, the mercenary beast fallen joins forces with the wolf, creating a chaotic diversion that sends the royal army of Plasta on a wild goose chase. The pursuit intensifies as the duo races through the winding paths, narrowly evading capture. In a daring move, the beast fallen duo reaches the edge of a cliff. With a leap of faith, they plunge into the unknown depths below, leaving the pursuing army bewildered at the abrupt disappearance. The army, faced with the uncertainty of what lies beneath, reluctantly withdraws. However, the respite is short-lived. 13, not one to let go, sends a cotter of deadly assassins on their trail. The beast fallen and his team, now hurtling towards an uncertain fate, must navigate the treacherous path ahead, evading both magical and mortal threats in a bid for survival. The stage is set for a thrilling escapade where alliances are tested, and the pursuit of justice takes an unpredictable turn. As Albus stirred from her slumber, the inquisitive beast fallen couldn't resist delving into the mystery of the elusive grimoire of Zero. Albus, however, delivered disheartening news. During 13's assault on their hideout, some wily witch had made off with the precious book. Now, with no leads in sight, the prospects of retrieving the grimoire seemed dim. Meanwhile, in the confines of Zero's room, 13 faced the sassy sorceress's taunts, particularly about his culinary skills or lack thereof. The wolf beast fallen dropped a bombshell on Albus, revealing a blood contract tying her to the enigmatic leader of the Zero sorcerers. Breaking it would spell instant death for Albus, rendering their mission even more perilous. As the impending threat of assassins loomed, Albus hatched a daring plan. Utilizing Zero's magic cancellation spell, they aim to blanket the entire city, nullifying the powers of all witches within its bounds. Amidst the chaos, Zero couldn't resist airing her grievances to 13, making the situation even more tense.
必要なものがあれば用意しよう。
そうだな。寝床がひどい。
The trio, guided by place-finding magic, embarked on a quest to locate Zero. Albus turned to the mercenary, inquiring if he possessed anything related to Zero. The assassins closed in on their hiding spot, but the resourceful mercenary hurled a bomb, creating a diversion that allowed them to make a break for it. Trapped between a valley and the relentless assassins, a strategic move was in order. The mercenary urged Hold'em, the wolf beast fallen, to charge through the blockade. With Hold'em on the other side, Albus was tossed across, and the mercenary skillfully scaled the obstacle, leaving the confused assassins in their wake. The surviving assassins hastily retreated to report the turn of events to 13, leaving our trio to breathe a momentary sigh of relief. The mercenary beast fallen, with a bold display of intimidation, stormed into the royal capital of Plasta, brushing aside any opposition from the guards. Outside a clothing store in Plasta, Albus, the mercenary, and Hold'em gathered to retrieve Zero's old attire for a place-finding ritual. To their surprise, the store's eccentric owner was caught in an animated conversation with one of Zero's dresses. Undeterred, the beast fallen barged in, causing a commotion. The tearful owner pleaded with Albus not to take anything Zero had worn. But Albus, ever empathetic, offered him a deal, the promise of Zero's socks in exchange. With the magic circle for the place-finding ritual drawn by Hold'em, Albus, through the mystical connection with Zero's old attire, pinpointed the elusive sorceress's location. The stage was set for the next chapter of their adventure, where secrets, alliances, and peculiar exchanges unfolded in a magical tapestry of intrigue. As the mercenary charged towards the looming tower where Zero was held captive, Albus and Hold'em worked diligently on drawing the intricate circles for the impending magic cancellation spell. The tension in the air was thick as the mercenary scaled the cliff in a determined effort to reach the imprisoned sorceress. However, just as the climb seemed insurmountable, a sudden turn of events unfolded. A formidable group of strong magic users, allies of Albus, emerged on the scene. These powerful witches were part of the Zero Sorcerers group, swayed by Albus's impassioned speech. United by a common cause, they joined forces to aid in the liberation of Zero. Despite Albus's attempts to reason with the sorcerers, their minds were already ensnared by the leader of the Zero Sorcerers. Hold'em, recognizing the dire situation, advised Albus to consider surrendering, emphasizing the futility of their escape. Yet, Albus, ever resilient, held on to hope. The magic users, once impressed by Albus's words, were now firmly under the influence of the Zero Sorcerer's leader. In a twist of fate, Albus and Hold'em found themselves taken into custody by the very group they had hoped to sway. The balance had shifted, leaving the mercenary as their last beacon of hope. Undeterred by the unfolding chaos, the mercenary persisted in his climb, determined to breach the tower's confines. Each failed attempt only fueled his resolve as he navigated the challenges that stood between him and Zero.
歓迎してくれよな、ご主人様。
The tower, a fortress of uncertainty, loomed above, and the fate of our protagonists hung in the balance. As the story took an unexpected turn, the stage was set for a confrontation of ideologies, alliances tested, and the resilience of the human spirit in the face of magical machinations. The tower held the key to revelations, and the mercenary's ascent became a symbol of unwavering determination against the odds. In the dimly lit chamber where Zero was held captive, the beast fallen faced a conflicted Zero. She, in her anger, insisted he turn back, fearing it might be one of 13's traps. However, the beast fallen explained his reason for not leaving, and Zero, overwhelmed with emotion, cried and hugged him, commanding him never to leave her side again. As the beast fallen attempted to convey Albus's plan to Zero, the forced summoning began once more, triggered by the utterance of Albus's name. In another part of the story, the sorcerers of Zero interrogated Albus, skeptical of Zero's words. They received a message from their leader instructing an attack on 13 at sunrise, delivered through a controlled rat. Back in the chamber, Zero, encaged in metal, and the beast fallen lying on the ground, faced 13. 13's sinister plan unfolded, to kill the beast fallen and erase his memories from Zero's mind. As Zero attempted to use magic, it proved futile against the magic sealing barrier. Unaware of 13's true intentions, the beast fallen explained his plan for a victory without bloodshed. Zero, realizing 13's true agenda, clarified that he didn't desire the grimoire of Zero or an end to the war between humans and witches. 13 revealed the grimoire in his possession and explained his twisted plan, to create evil witches, display them, and then eradicate them to eliminate the fear of witches from people's hearts. He founded the Sorcerers of Zero, spreading magic across the land and inciting the witches' revolt. 13's ultimate goal was to create a new kingdom where witches and humans coexisted, with 0 as its symbol. 13 ordered his subordinates to cut Hold'em into pieces for rituals and combat. 13 manipulated the Beast Fallen, revealing a plan to shoot him down, causing the death of the sorcerers of 0. The Butcher, skeptical of Hold'em's plan to erase magic, spared him and handed back his sword, urging him to do what was necessary to end the war. Angering 13 to exploit a potential opening, the Beast Fallen started stepping towards him. 13, in response, trapped the Beast Fallen, turning him into stone. However, the Beast Fallen, with a triumphant move, threw a magic sealing potion toward 13. Although 13 dodged the potion, it hit 0's cage, freeing her. Hold'em embarked on a mission to rescue Albus as 0 and 13 engaged in their final battle, unleashing powerful magic spells against each other. The stage was set for a climactic confrontation between the sorcerer and his former protege. In the charged confrontation between 0, 13, and the unexpected intervention of the Beast Fallen, the dynamics of power shifted dramatically. As the battle unfolded, 0's overwhelming prowess came to the forefront, leading her to the brink of delivering a fatal blow to 13. However, the Beast Fallen leaped into action, sacrificing himself to save 13 and redirect the inflicted damage back onto 0, leaving her unconscious and wounded on the ground. Amidst the momentary respite that followed, the 0 sorcerers paused for rest, creating an opportunity for Albus to once again attempt to reason with them. Despite Albus's efforts, the sorcerers remained steadfast in their convictions, resistant to any form of understanding or compromise. 13 took this opportunity to unravel the mysterious connection between 0 and the Beast Fallen, revealing that 0 had cast a spell on the Beast Fallen, causing the transfer of damage from him to her. The pieces fell into place, shedding light on the peculiar events that had unfolded in the Beast Fallen's recent experiences. In a reflective moment, 13 delved into the annals of 0's childhood, recounting her growth over the years. 0, rousing from her unconscious state, took center stage once again. In a revelation that left both 13 and the Beast Fallen astounded, 0 disclosed her intentional inclusion of incorrect incantations in the grimoire of 0. This strategic move ensured that 13 could never fully harness the power of the spells within the grimoire, contributing to 0's unwavering confidence. 0, an extraordinary witch, demonstrated her readiness to defend herself at any cost. Now, with a new objective in mind, 0 aimed to seal away magic and preemptively end the impending battle. 13's initial ambition to take over the kingdom and present it to 0 was scrutinized in the wake of this revelation. If 0 did not harbor an interest in ruling the kingdom, 13 found himself devoid of any inclination towards such aspirations. The arrival of knights on the scene, seemingly orchestrated by the sorcerers of 0, prompted a strategic response. Hold'em's unexpected entrance into Albus's tent, the subsequent revelation of the fake news about the knights, and Albus's liberation added a layer of complexity to the unfolding narrative. Albus, now being pursued by the witches, faced imminent danger until the timely intervention of 0 and 13. The ensuing confusion, as Hold'em and Albus grappled with the unexpected alliance between 13 and 0, set the stage for explanations. 0 and the Beast Fallen elucidated the intricacies of the situation to Hold'em and Albus, unraveling the complex web of connections and motivations. Hold'em, driven by anger and grief, launched an assault on 13, with both Albus and Hold'em holding 13 accountable for Sorna's death. In a dramatic turn, 13, acknowledging responsibility, removed the contract of blood oath from his book, paving the way for what seemed to be an acceptance of his fate at Albus's hands. The stage was set for a resolution, as the characters grappled with the consequences of their intertwined destinies, and the unfolding events promised a conclusion rich in complexity and emotion. The ritual to cancel magic unfolded with 13, 0, Albus, and the Beast Fallen moving in different directions to activate the magic cancellation circles. 0 drew the first magic circle, followed by 13 with the second, and Hold'em completing the trio with the third. The sorcerers of 0, now in Plastic Capital, received explicit orders to avoid harming civilians and focus solely on their target, 13, the sorcerer of the state. Hold'em, driven by the desire for 13 to live with the regret of Sorna's murder, engaged in a physical confrontation. However, he deliberately missed the fatal blow. Meanwhile, 13 and 0 initiated the ritual to cancel magic, entrusting their safety to the Beast Fallen and Hold'em. Defenseless during the ritual, they faced an onslaught from the sorcerers of 0, who unleashed wild animals. The sky above them filled with light magic arrows as the sorcerers of Zero sought to disrupt the crucial magical ceremony. Beastfallen and Hold'em, left to fend off the wild animals, found themselves in a precarious situation. 13, utilizing his mastery of magic, shielded them from the incoming arrows. Simultaneously, within the castle, the sorcerers engaged in negotiations, met with betrayal as the general killed the negotiator. This prompted the sorcerers to storm the castle, leading to a chaotic clash within its walls. As the ritual progressed, it became evident that Albus was crucial for its completion. She finally arrived on the scene and joined the ritual, her presence adding a significant layer to the magic being performed. Zero, calling upon the nameless demon, sought to cancel the magic over the land of Wenias. As the ritual concluded, Beastfallen and the attacking wild animals were knocked unconscious, and the magic wielded by the sorcerers of Zero vanished. With the witches seemingly eradicated, the kingdom celebrated. Albus, now the sorcerer of the state, emerged as a symbol of leadership. A grand festival marked the newfound peace between humans and witches. Although Zero successfully retrieved the grimoire of Zero, the ritual's aftermath prevented the immediate transformation of the Beastfallen back into a human. Zero's powers weakened due to the summoning of the demon during the sealing ritual, requiring time for recovery. After a brief period of recovery, the kingdom held a festival to commemorate the peace. Albus, as the sorcerer of the state, took charge and falsely punished 13 by burning him at the stake in front of the state. However, the Beastfallen intervened, saving 13 while the state believed he had perished. An official magic education program was initiated to address any issues that might arise in Wenias, laying the groundwork for a harmonious coexistence between humans and witches. In the end, in alignment with 13's master plan, the world's first state sorcerer program was born. The war in the kingdom of Wenias came to an end, and 13, having left the capital, embarked on a new journey. Zero, accompanied by the Beastfallen, set out to explore the vast and diverse world beyond, marking the beginning of a new and uncertain chapter in their lives. Now fast forward into a few years with a new arc, starting with a boy named Saybil, struggling to remember who he is, as a girl approaches him telling him that they have the same eyes. 3 years has passed and Saybil stays at Wenia's Royal Magic Academy, where he has the lowest grades of the entire academy. However, he soon finds out that he has been summoned to the headmaster's office. On his way, he spots a girl calling Headmaster Albus from outside the door. She tells him to shoo until she realizes he was summoned. She comes up with a strategy and compels him to open the door, but Saybil refuses and decides to threaten the headmaster by injuring one of her students. However, a wolf named Hold'em comes to defend Saybil. As they were fighting, she dropped her staff and Saybil attempted to pick it up, but Hold'em quickly kicks it away. They enter the headmaster's room, and Saybil is asked to get special training in a different environment. Albus tells about the witch hunt that was taking place 5 years ago in the south. Albus wants to open a village in the south for witches and wants Saybil to help as a mage there. If in 3 years the inspector considers the place unsuitable, then his memories will be sealed. The girl reveals that her name is Lu, the Dawn of the Witch, and will be his inspector in exchange that she gets the grimoire of Zero. Saybil and Lu went to the southern tunnel entrance, and a girl named Holt came to join them on their journey to the training village. Later, Lu explains that her weapon is the Staff of Ludens, and when someone touches it, they are eliminated. On their way, Saybil gets motion sickness and they are forced to stop in the forest. Saybil tells them that he doesn't remember anything before he enrolled in the academy, and if he uses magic, he has no control over it. Lu tells him it is nothing more dangerous than a mage who cannot control their magic. As this was going on, a witch hunter from the church was waiting for the people of the Magic Academy to come into the forest. While they were eaten, 2 young guys came and told them Cut has stolen their stuff and ran away. But Lu immediately knew something wasn't right, considering they didn't like him from the beginning, and tells Saybil and Holt to stay there while she goes to search for him. However, they ignored her warning and decided to secretly follow her. As they enter deeper in the forest, they find a part of Cud's tail and were unsure whether they should return back to the city. Holt notices that this was done by the witch hunters, and she explains that when she was little they murdered her friends. Meanwhile, Cud attempts to run but falls into traps. The Arbiter named Tyrant finds Cud and immobilizes him. Lu comes and overwhelms him until he hears Saybil and Holt and grabs Saybil's throat. Tyrant demands that Lu drops her staff if she wishes to save Saybil. As the Arbiter speaks about the witch faction, Holt uses her demon power and attacks, which leads to nothing but a chance for Saybil to save them by using Lu as Luden's magical staff. Lu tells them that normally whoever touches her staff would have perished, However, Saybil's magic was too much even for her staff and it couldn't drain him. Later, Holt tells Saybil that she is a beast fallen and a former spy for the church, but he does not think any different of her and she goes to bed. The next day, Cud tells them he has the ability to regrow his body but doesn't have the magic supply for it. They decide to use Saybil's infinite magic for it instead, with a little chance of Cud exploding, but that's besides the point. After restoring his hands, they enter the city, where a horse gets mud on Saybil, resulting in him taking a bath. Cud tells about his aim to join the mage army to Saybil and his goals once they are finished. As they continue their journey, a young boy comes and tells them to run if they don't want to die, and seals a gate, which is the barrier set up by the witch of the village. Just then, a mercenary comes and uses their scent to find where they are hiding. They attempted to fight, but being overwhelmed, they ran as Lou distracted the mercenary, but tells her he's not fighting a losing battle and take his leave. They arrive in a small village where they meet a blind priest named Shinpu, who warns them about the witch's control over the village and urges Hort to leave as she was a beast fallen. They were surprised to learn that the village had surrendered to an invader 2 years ago without a fight, and the witch who was their supervisor had disappeared. Lou arrived and suspected Shinpu of working for the witch and asked him to show them around. After checking out the town, Lou suggests they eliminate the headmaster. However, Saybil tries to come up with a way to save the village, and he explains that he's not afraid to die, and if they want to leave, they are free to do so. However, saying this made Hort cry and run out. Hort enters the church where she sees Shinpu, but hearing Hort has abandoned the church, he captures her. Lou decided to track her using Holt's magic. However, on the way they discover bloodstains in a nearby cave. Cud leaves the group after expressing his fear of death. Outside the cave, a mercenary claimed to have eaten Holt and offered Cud a chance to join him, but Cud refused. Meanwhile, Lou and Saybil were caught by a powerful witch. Saybil recognizes her as the girl he first met. Lou is thrown back by the witch's power. With Holt already eaten, the witch reveals that she did everything to bring Saybil back from Albus. She offers Saybil the choice to join her or face the consequences. Saybil refuses. Lou siphons magic from Saybil and attacks the witch, but she easily deflects her attack. The witch reveals her name is Zero, the Black Mud Witch and author of the Grimoire of Zero. However, Saybil refuses to give up and stands in front of Lou to protect her from Zero's assault. Zero congratulates them, revealing that everything that had happened was a test. Meanwhile, Hort and Cud arrive, having passed the test as well. At Weenia's academy, the headmaster receives a letter from Zero stating that their students had passed and makes a poster to catch the tyrant alive as they celebrate. Zero tells them they did this test because their powers would be a threat if they were to become evil, especially Saybil, who even the witch herself cannot tell how powerful he can get. Later, Zero reveals to Lou that Saybil is her nephew as well as the son of the 13 who purged against the world in his lifetime. Our heroes have settled into their new life in the Field Studies village. Holt has taken up the role of a hand image, while Cud is assisting as the village clinic, and Saybil, who has an abundance of magic, has become the village's recharge station, helping the villagers recharge their magical energy. However, Lou is concerned that Saybil is not leaving the cabin enough, and this may affect his studies at the academy and mentality, calling him a shut-in. But Saybil argues that in the event that someone's magic is depleted, he needs to be there, along with everyone's laundry. Lou asks him if he also does Hua's laundry too, including her panties. As he replies yes, Lou scolds him, telling him that he should be thoughtful of girls' belongings. However, Lou remembers that Zero said with no memories Saybil is practically a slave. Feeling bad, she hugs him and sends him out to find some leaves to get out the house. Saybil goes out to search for tea leaves alongside Leo's in the forest, and they continue to go deeper. But Saybil suggests they turn back since he doesn't have the tools to go any farther. However, Leo's runs off saying he lied about knowing the way through the forest, and Saybil forgives him. Suddenly, a mouse appears and tries to give visual clues. They decide to follow them and they end up at the church. The Shinpu invites Saybil to have a meal with him in an intimating manner. Meanwhile, Lily comes and the Shinpu removes her cloth, which reveals that Lily is a mouse who cooks delicious food for him. He wonders why the Shinpu doesn't cook his own food, but Lily tells him if he is allowed to cook, it will be a nightmare. While eating Lily's amazing cooked food, Shinpu tells him about the dangers in the forest and what could have awaited him, and there was death. He apologizes as Shinpu tells him if he wanted to get leaves, he can get them next to Zero's home. When Saybil reached close to Zero's home, he runs into Holt. She tells him that her and the mercenary were attacked by wolves in the forest. Saybil notices blood on her shirt, but she tells him it's from the mercenary who she accidentally hit with her spell, who tells Saybil he has a job for him as they went to Zero's to provide home to provide her magic as she kisses him and she heals the mercenary, who asks Zero why didn't she take more magic from him since her magic is becoming very low for a witch. She replies that it no guaranteed that his magic won't run dry. but who informs her that as things stand she will rot away, saying it is what it is. Meanwhile, Hold'em is on the way to the village, and thinking of the past when Saybil's father had killed his master's grandma alongside the witch hunter. Cud wakes up after passing out due to him overusing his magic. Saybil explains to him what happens and tells him that he missed out on Lily's cooking. Cud asks did the old mercenary die, since he normally cooks. Holt tells him he didn't kill him, only accidentally hit him with a spell, wondering how the heck do you accidentally hit someone with a spell. They continue to taunt each other as Lou comes, giving them a lecture, and make them own up to their mistakes so they can improve them. They decide to visit the library, and there they get to know about the Forbidden Library and remnants of disaster in the north. Zero takes Holt for magic lessons as she refused to let her be released until she learns how to cancel her spells. However, after a couple spells it takes an unexpected turn when Zero faints. Saybil tries to use his magic to restore her magic, but it doesn't work and takes Zero to her room where she tells him a bit about his father and the book that is written by him, claiming that she cannot read the book, but Saybil says the book is easy to read since his handwriting is similar, and tells him that maybe he can uncover the secrets to the book his father left behind. Saybil goes into the forest with Leos, and upon adventuring they come across a fallen wolf, and Saybil suddenly gets a bad feeling when suddenly they encounter the remnants of disaster. Leo and Saybil gets hit by it, but Leos takes a deeper fatal hit while Saybil tries hard to save him. He realizes doesn't know magic and regrets not studying. Just when almost fainting, Zero, Mercenary, and Lou comes and save them. Zero uses Lou's blood to heal them, but it leads to Zero and Lou being ill. Lou tells them that the remnants of disaster multiplies and spreads through the south. Zero worries that someone set this up, and the Mercenary went to Father to discuss the issue. They decided to gather information about it. Meanwhile, Hold'em arrives in the village for a surprise inspection. Since he was there, they decide to go into the forest to find the source of it, leaving Hold'em in charge of the group. Hold'em explains to them the situation and that Zero and the others are taking care of the remnants' problem. Meanwhile, Lou is still not feeling well, so she had to stay behind. Saybil decides he wants to get stronger to become a mage and asks his friends to help him train, as Hold'em crushes a crystal, breaking free the prisoner. Meantime, Leos' father comes to Saybil telling him to stay away from his child. As Leos' father went, Tyrant sneaks up behind Saybil and kidnaps him. On their to the destination, Saybil starts to remember some of his erased memories of his mother. His mother tells him that he must never approach a witch with the same eyes as him, or she will take everything from him. She hides him in a barrier as the lady breaks through the entrance, who threatens him to come out or she will be eliminated. Saybil's comes out, but she slices her off anyways. She attempts to grab Saybil's heart, but his magic was too great that it ended up being the death of her. Saybil wakes up screaming as Tyrant smacks him, telling him to shut up with all that, as his orders is to take him alive this time around. Holt and Cud comes attempting to save Saybil as Holt uses her magic to damage him, and Saybil grabs Tyrant's arm, telling him not to move or he'll eliminate him in an instant probably. Meanwhile, Lou already had a hint that Hold'em was planning something and instantly confronts him. Going back to the fight, Tyrant catches Saybil off guard and crushes his arm, as well as knocking out the rest of them. Just when he was about to capture them, his arm is instantly cut off by the Shinpu. He takes off his mask, revealing his eyes and slicing him. Zero comes, along with the rest of them. Upon already being suspicious of Hold'em, Zero warns him that depending on his answer, his head may be sent back to the office. Hold'em tells them the truth, that if the Tyrant managed to bring at least one student back to the academy, he wouldn't receive the death judgment. However, things got out of hand due to the students knocking him out, causing the Tyrant to go a bit overboard. Lou notices it wasn't a test for the students, but how well the village defense is. After this, Zero explains the reason why they hire people like the Tyrant, and to atone for his sins he is ordered to serve the village. However, Holt doesn't like the idea of that, but eventually after everyone pitched in, she agrees only if she gets to monitor him. Hold'em decides to head back to the academy, and Lou overhears that Saybil's got his memories back, but he feels no emotional response to them. He confides in Holt, asking her what happens when you like someone, since it might hinder his ability to help. She asks him, who does he think about in a life or death situation? Saybil tells her that he may like the Professor Lou. She grabs his hand, saying that she knows how he feels, but remembering what he did to someone who touched his hand, Saybil turns to Zero, who congratulate him for not being crushed by his own memories, as she thought it would leave him traumatized. She reveals to him the truth, telling that his father, 13, only bore him so he could be a magic supply for her, but after his mother found out, she ran away. Saybil tells her that through knowing this he wants to learn magic but continue being a magic supply, as this isn't for his friends but himself, and asks her if he can practice on her, since even if he messes up she won't die. Meanwhile, an assassin boy targets Cud, but Tyrant catches the assassin as Lou captures him. They suspect that the church may have ordered him since they don't see people no more than pawns. Lady Heartful, who is in the school, arrives during the investigation. The mercenary attempts to extract information from the assassin, but Cud refuses to resort to torture. Shinpu comes in and the assassin attempts to go after him, however he gets slammed into the wall. As Shinpu starts interrogates the assassin, they learns a little about the remnants of disaster, suspecting that higher-ups in the church may be involved with the extremists. Meanwhile, Tyrant has decided to teach the kids how to make traps, but Holt cannot shake what he did to her friends. Cud decides to take the assassin named Katie to the church, where he ends up eating delightful food to get rid of his hatred for Beast Fallen and witches. Meanwhile, Saybil was practicing his new spells from zero. He asks Lou to experiment with the staff, as it was too dangerous for him to use his magic supply on regular people. He also mentions one more thing, and that is that he likes her. Lou falls out her chair, saying she loves her students too. But Saybil says that he wants to marry her, however after finding out he did it the wrong way, he tells her to forget it ever happened. But realistically, who's gonna forget that? While Katie was sleeping, he dreamed about being trained to fight the witches. Holt wakes him up and takes him and the others to the river to catch fish. Meanwhile, Saybil wakes up Lou in a hurry to practice his experiment, saying he wants to try a potion he made from his father's book. Lou agrees to let him try it. After drinking the potion, Lou tells him that gave the staff about 2 mages worth of energy, even though Saybil thought he held back. On his way out, Lou tells him that he plans on monitoring the boy they captured. However, Saybil tells her that he is currently at the river with Holt, and she begins to get a bad feeling about this. Flashbacks begin to show of Tyrant, as he only knew how to make traps, but his father always used to beat him for making the traps he asked for. Until one day, a scouting team comes to him asking for him to make traps that would even capture a human. After doing this, he ran into the Shinpu, and he used to work for the church, making him choose between dying there or live in agony that makes him want to die, and that is how he became who he is today. While rethinking of his pasthood, Katie starts acting weird, and the remnant of Desator erupts inside of him. Tyrant attempts to fight it, but his arms comes clean off and is forced to jump back. Holt attempts to use her demon powers, but Katie easily breaks through. Tyrant swears that he will never again leave his weapon behind ever and attempts to hold it at bay so Holt can charge her magic. While the Tyrant was being brutally attacked, Holt does another spell, but it does nothing. Running out of options, Tyrant jumps on him, saying to wipe them both or they will all be wiped out. Cud and Holt combine their magic and manage to finish Katie off, however this caused the remnants to multiply to attack them. Luckily, Lou came just in time to their rescue. Saybil, Holt, and Cud moan over the death of Katie, saying if they were stronger they could have prevented it. While feeling upset, the Dragon King comes to the village to inform they are instructed to return to the academy as the village is about to become a battlefield. But Saybil and his friends decides to stay, including Lou, to fight. While after throwing a little tantrum, Zero admires their determination to protect the village. Shinpu tells Tyrant that it's funny how they are fighting what they used to be a part of, and he is proud that he protected the group from the remnants. However, since Tyrant still considers himself a tool, Shinpu cannot trust him since a tool may one day break, resulting in injury to the owner. Saybil tests the potion on Holt as it was successful. Holt asks how this was made. Saybil decides to tell them the truth, that his father is 13, the sorcerer who purged the world. But they didn't care since Saybil will always be himself. Tyrant goes to the house where they celebrate him saving them all. But he is not used to this feeling of feeling appreciate and slowly starts feeling embarrassed about it. He decides to scare the teacher away, but somehow it came off to her, saying he likes her. Tyrant stumbles across Holt. She mocks him that even scum like himself can save people when his life is in danger. She decides she won't kill him, and even better to have his back, since living longer will make him suffer more than death and eventually feel the weight of all the people he has killed in his lifetime. As everyone prepares for battle, Saybil and the others work with Zero to choose the right magic combination. The opponent has a massive army of 10,000 troops, and the Dragon King plans to take villagers to the Lautra Cathedral on a ship to keep them safe. Shipnu suggests Lily go with them to stay protected, but she refuses as she insists she is incredibly strong. Hold'em approaches the church and Mage Knights and asks them to postpone sending troops. The church and Mage Knights ask Feria to send the magic medic unit. In the meantime, extremists from the church are protesting in front of Zero and the mercenary village. The head of state of the Creon Republic, Torres, receives an urgent letter from Feria, the monarch of the holy city Ictios. A noble who loved adventure marched to the north, but lost half of his warriors in the process, revealing the truth about the remnants of disaster. When they came back, the dead bodies contained seeds of disaster remnants. The church seized the seeds and gave them covertly to the extremists when the noble went to the church wailing. Saybil makes the decision to impart his power to Zero in order to ensure the success of their objectives. He is free to give however much magic he wants, according to Zero. Saybil offers her an abundance of magic, but even the witch herself couldn't absorb all of it given how powerful Saybil's magic is. She tells him that one day he will make a name for himself just as she is known as the Mud Black Witch. She will call him the Abyss Sorcerer when someone eventually inquires for his name. The army prepares to attack and the battle is about to begin. Lily uses her mouse friends to lure the enemy army towards a trap. The traps successfully inflict various wounds and burns, and even strip the army naked, but they were all healed due to their strategy of giving the soldiers mercy. The army head retreats, but the demon army continues to advance. While Saybil and the others were thinking of more strategies, Shinpu and the mercenary are reminded that Lily is out on the battlefield and rushes to fight the demon army to save Lily. Shinpu arrives, slicing the demon arm clean off. It regenerates as the mercenary follows behind. The demon resurrects them and they are both surrounded. Meanwhile, Tyrant and the others defend the village on the other side using his traps and magic skills. Tyrant has fun toying with them and using his weapon to attack. One of the demons manages to get in. However, Saybil uses his new skill and instantly blows his arm. Holt uses a new fire spell that she accidentally went overboard and Holt heals the badly wounded. The mercenary manages to bring the demon leader to where the others are at and asks the help of the witch to fully eliminate him. Zero uses an ancient spell that she can only use when she has full amount of magic, causing the dead to raise up and take the demon with them. The demon is eaten to death and tells them if a mage goes the wrong path it could cause a problem for her, as it would be a bit of work to vanquish them. As the battle finishes on their end, Albus organizes a show and invites Bishop to identify who has spread the remnants of disaster. However, the remnants of disaster suddenly appear and attack the people, and Bishop's lies are instantly revealed. Lou intervenes, removing the fake remnants she has created, and forgives Bishop after throwing the same pill he gave Katie. After the battle, word got around about the witches and 0 people were lost in this fight, causing a positive perception towards witches, and the anti-witch faction is put to an end. After completing their mission, our heroes receive their diplomas from Weenia's academy and are offered jobs. Zero asks Saybil to keep his father's book since she could never figure out what it said. Saybil tells her that all she really had to do was just flip the book upside down. After all these years, she couldn't believe it was that easy. Saybil asks if he can call her Aunt Zero and give him a tap on the head. Tyrant decides to stay at the village, and they leave the village for a new journey to learn more about the remnants of disaster from the Forbidden Library. Even though Saybil is slowly getting more powerful, his biggest weakness are still vehicles, and with this the anime comes to an end. Let us know what your thoughts are, and I'm out.